Good day. Welcome to our Bible study. It's good to be here together to study about Jesus. We're Christians. We should know about Jesus. And today we're starting the fifth chapter of the Gospel of Mark. We're going to do a lot of verses today, so hold on to your seats. We're going to go a little bit quickly, but I think we can still get them done within our about 30 minutes. That's what our goal is going to be. Here's a question. What is the scariest situation or the scariest place you've ever been? You say, wow, I was watching a horror movie. Yeah, like horror movies can be pretty scary. Or I went to this haunted house, and that was a very scary situation. Or maybe remember sometime you were in the woods alone or was in a bad neighborhood. Or maybe you had a conflict with somebody that was bigger than you, and you thought, oh man, there's going to be trouble. Or maybe when they told you that you were sick, you got really scared about what was going to happen to you. I don't know. And those kinds of things have happened to me. But what I want to tell you about today is a story. It's a true story. It happened at our cabin just a few months ago. We got a text that said, a bear's coming your way. And sure enough, a bear came down the path, came on to our deck, reared up on two legs, and was looking in our window.
Is he on the deck?
He is. Do you see him?
This bear was not a little bear. This bear was bigger than I am, probably by 6 inches. Whoa, I'm thinking, what if this bear gets in the house? What are we going to do? And Linda, with all her strength, jumped up, grabbed some pots and pans, and get out of here, you miserable bear. And the bear ran off, and all was well.
No, Hetty, not for Hetty.
And we haven't so much been bothered by the bear since then. Well, here's the background. Jesus has just calmed the storm. He was going across the Sea of Galilee, the big storm, and Jesus calmed it. And his disciples are in awe of what he did. Who is this guy that even the wind and the waves have to obey? They were in awe of Jesus. But nevertheless, they were still a little bit unnerved for what happened. So they came to the other side of the sea. They continued on their journey, came to the other side of the sea, the Sea of Galilee, that big lake, and they came into the country of the Gerasenes. And this is on the northeast shore of the Sea of Galilee. And the disciples were still a little bit unnerved about what had happened. And when they got there, it was like a scene in a horror movie or something in a really, really bad dream, because they landed next to a graveyard. And it was getting dark. It was dusky and getting dark. And they knew the graveyard could have demons in it. And they're probably talking, there could be demons in it. What are we doing? Why don't we land over there? Not here. But furthermore, they heard groans and rattling chains coming out of the graveyard. Whoa, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I'm sure they were just a little bit afraid. And it got worse. When Jesus, got out of the boat, immediately a man from the tombs with an unclean spirit came to met him. The guy ran up to them. The guy's got an unclean spirit. They go, drooling, ran up to Jesus. You think the disciples were afraid? I think that they were. I would have been afraid. Being just about at night and the man was demon-possessed. When you say unclean spirit, it means demon-possessed. And the disciples were nervous. I think that's an understatement. Now, I'm going to read the description that Mark provides about this man, and then we'll comment on it. It's going to take a couple slides. Just listen, and read. Read along with me. And he had his dwelling, the demon-possessed man had his dwelling among the tombs, and no one was able to bind him anymore, even with a chain, because he had often been bound with shackles and chains, and the chains had been torn apart by him, and the shackles broken into pieces. And no one was strong enough to subdue him. Consequently, day and night he was screaming among the tombs and in the mountains and gnashing himself with stones. Gnashing himself. He was so distraught about what had happened to him, screaming all night. So the demon-possessed man, he lived in the tombs. He had super strength, even breaking chains and shackles. Chains are around your hand, shackles are on your feet and your legs. Even breaking them, ripping them apart. He screamed at night. He was intent on harming himself. He was intent. I wonder whether Jesus knew this guy was there. He probably knew it. That's why he picked that spot to land, I think. Verse 6, seeing Jesus from a distance, he ran up and bowed down before him. So the demon-possessed man bowed down before Jesus. Okay? The demons knew who Jesus was. We'll find that out. Note, everyone avoided the man. Would you have avoided this man? Yeah, everyone but Jesus avoided the man. Jesus loves everybody, even those that are unlovable. And certainly if he could love a demon-possessed man like this, he can love you too. And does. Verse 7, and shouting with a loud voice, he said, "What business do we have to do with each other, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you, by God, do not torment me." So the demons called Jesus what? The Son of the Most High God. Guess what? They knew Jesus was God. So they also knew Jesus' name, which is kind of interesting. They called him by name. How did they know? How did they know? The demons understand. They understand and shudder. And they bow down to Jesus. So, think about what you learned about these demons. What impresses you about these demons? I don't know. They're violent. They're really violent. Really, really violent. Demons tend to be violent. They don't want calm. They want violence. They knew Jesus' name. They knew Jesus is the Son of God. They had control over the man. The man didn't have control over himself anymore. They bowed down to Jesus. They knew who Jesus was. They bowed down to him. Their strength, they were able to rip apart shackles in their legs and rip apart shackles on their upper part of their body and their arms. They made the man miserable. They made this poor guy miserable. I really feel sorry for this guy. Their ability to speak, see, they could speak through the man. They had a conversation with Jesus. And it'll go on, we'll learn about that, but they had a conversation with Jesus. And they understood Jesus' authority. Completely understood. They knew who he was. They knew he had complete authority over them. And they had a whole lot of respect for Jesus because they knew that Jesus held their fate in his hand at that time. So I think that's where the respect comes from. Not out of worship so much as out of fear. For he, Jesus, had been saying to him, to the demons, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." See, Jesus commanded the demons to come out of the man, and they're going to have to obey because he has authority. So how do you think this poor guy, how do you think this demon-possessed guy felt about, all of a sudden this guy's on the scene, and the demons are terrified of this guy. And the man's got to be wondering, what is going on? How did the man feel? He knew something was going to happen. Maybe he thought, maybe this guy can help. Maybe he's a son of God. I guess he could help, Maybe the man with all the demons in him said, "I wonder what'll happen. I don't know if this is going to be for good or for bad. I don't know. I wonder what's going to happen." We just had to stick around. I guess he didn't have a choice. He had to stick around. Maybe he was afraid about the situation. Maybe the demons are going to get even more violent. They're going to kill me. Who knows? Or maybe the poor man was just too tired to care. Maybe I would be. Been exhausted, up all night screaming. Or maybe he was just wanting mercy. Somebody, please have mercy. You ever feel like that? Please, somebody have mercy on me. Everybody's against me. God, I just want somebody to have mercy. And maybe he said, Jesus, you get involved in this, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. Stay away from this guy. He's too strong. Right? Maybe that's what the man was feeling. I don't know. Mark 5:9, and he was asking him, and Jesus was asking the demons, "What is your name?" And they said to him, "My name is Legion, for we are many." See, the poor man had many demons in him. Well, how many? Well, we don't know for sure, but I can tell you it was many because a legion is 6,000 troops. Now, I don't know whether he had 6,000 in him, but I think it's for sure he had a lot of demons decided they wanted to live in this poor guy. And the demons, began to implore him earnestly not to send them out of the country. Don't send us out of the country. And I want you to note that all the people feared the man. All the people feared these demons, but the demons feared Jesus. Good testimony to who Jesus is. See, Jesus is not like any other man. And Jesus holds the demon's fate right there in his hand. He can do anything he wants with him. Right? He's God. He can do anything he wants with him. So what were the demons asking? I think they were saying, don't send us into the abyss. Oh, what is the abyss? Well, the abyss is where the demons and Satan is going to end up spending eternity. At the end of time, Jesus is going to judge them, and that's where they're going to cast in. They know that. And they say, don't send us there before the time. It's too soon for us to go there. We have a lot of time. We can go around doing harm. And maybe you ask, well, why doesn't Jesus do that right now? And I know it's a hard question to ask, why he doesn't do that now. Maybe he just wants to give many people time to come to a saving knowledge of him. And he wants you to have a saving knowledge of him. And he wants your family and your friends and so forth. Maybe that's why Jesus is tarrying. Maybe since you're driving us out, they knew they were going to have to. They already told them they had to get out. Since they knew they had to get out, give us a place to go. We need a place to go. We really want a body to live in. I think demons are a lot more comfortable living in a warmed body. Now, I'm not an expert in demons, but we'll see that they end up going into some pigs, so they can enter some animals. But maybe they just said, we want a body. We don't want to be disembodied. And maybe they just wanted to stay in this race. They said, let us stay in this country. Maybe they said, there's a lot of sinful people. A lot of people are going to invite us in. And so, this is a good place for us to be. Please let us stay in this country. Verse 11. Now there was a large herd of swine feeding nearby on the mountain. There was a herd of swine nearby. And there's much conjecture about, is there any deep meaning about them being swine and so forth? And the theologians write papers on this. I think we'll just take this for what it is, and we'll go deeper into the swine at some other point. The demons implored him, saying, send us into the swine so that we may enter them. So why do you think the demons asked to be sent into the swine? We kind of touched on that. They didn't want to go to the abyss, that's for sure. They wanted to be in some living being. I think that's probably true. They knew that they had to submit to Jesus' authority, and maybe it was the best they could come up with at the time. Look around. You've got to go somewhere. But how about the swine? And they knew they had to leave the man. They knew that they had to leave that man. Verse 13. Jesus gave them permission, and coming out, the unclean spirits entered the swine, and the herd rushed down the steep banks into the sea, about 2,000 of them, and they were drowned in the sea. So maybe there were 2,000 demons, one for each swine. I don't know. See, but Jesus didn't command them to go into the pigs, but he did allow it. He allowed it. Jesus allows evil. He hasn't stopped evil yet. He will stop evil. He doesn't allow evil yet. He wants everybody to come to a saving knowledge of him first. Jesus gave the man a new life. The demons caused the pigs to drown. Think about that. Jesus gave this man a new life. What do the demons do? Pain, destruction, and death. See, that's what Satan gives. Satan gives misery. Satan gives pain. Think about this poor guy. Satan took away the man's sanity, took away his self-control, took away his family, took away his friends. That's what sin does. Well, that's the results of sin. Satan has a field day. Jesus wants you to be happy and have an abundant life. So how do you think this man felt after the demons were gone? He must have felt good. He said, I feel good. Yeah, the demons are gone. I think I'm going to be okay. I'm in control of myself again. I'm so grateful to Jesus. Jesus, thank you, thank you, thank you for giving me back my life. I'm in awe of you, Jesus. You're the Son of God. And I think he was probably pretty committed to Jesus at that point. See, their herdsmen ran away and reported it in the city and the country, reported it everywhere, and the people came to see what it was that had happened. See, they told everybody what happened. They'd never seen anything like this. What were the herdsmen thinking? They were thinking, what just happened here? Something happened. What just happened here? Who's going to pay for the pigs? Is this healing for real? We know this guy was demon possessed and he was insane because of it. Is this for real? Is this for real? Is this going to last? Who is this Jesus? I'm sure they were thinking that. Who is this Jesus? Mark 5:15. They, the herdsmen, came to, the townspeople. This is the townspeople. They came to Jesus and observed the man who had been demon-possessed sitting down, clothed and in his right mind, the very man who had the legion, and they became frightened. So the townspeople became frightened because Jesus cast the demons out of the man. Why were the townspeople frightened? Why were they so frightened? Why would they be frightened? Well, maybe because Jesus was more powerful than the demons. They knew how strong this guy was. Jesus was stronger than this guy. Well, we're afraid of Jesus because of all the evil this man had done under the influence of the demons. They figured maybe Jesus has the power to do that too. I don't know. Or maybe they didn't want any more pigs killed. They're afraid. They're taken away. I'm financially afraid. Or maybe they had treated this demon-possessed man very badly. Maybe they treated him really badly and they were afraid. Maybe he was still strong and he might come back and take retribution on what they did to him when he was demon-possessed. Maybe that's what they were afraid of. Or maybe they just didn't want Jesus changing him. And there's a lot of conjecture about this. People are afraid Jesus is going to change them, and that's why they don't believe. Now, Jesus will change you, but it's always going to be for the good. You ask any Christian, has Jesus changed you? They'll say, yes. Is it for the good? Yes, it's for the better. Verse 16, those who had seen it described to them how it had happened to the demon-possessed man and all about the swine. Now, what happened? The people who saw it, they were eyewitness accounts. They said what happened, and they believed them. In the same way, your personal testimony, what Jesus did to you, is powerful. Nobody can argue about your personal testimony because it's what happened to you. They may not believe you, but they can't argue with you. You're just saying, this is what happened to me. And your personal testimony, what Jesus has done for you, is enormously powerful. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to tell people what Jesus has done for you. And they, the townspeople, began to implore Jesus to leave their region. The people implored Jesus to leave their region. You ever told Jesus to leave? Why don't you just go over there? Why go over here and do this sin? Yeah, you ever tell him that? I think we all have. Say, Jesus, I don't want you around. I'm going to go do something you're not going to want me to do. Why don't you go? And you'll notice that Jesus will grant the wish of the people. If you don't want Jesus around, it's okay with him. He doesn't force his way. He doesn't force his way into anybody's life. He wants you to let him in. Now, why did they want Jesus to leave? Well, they were afraid of Jesus' power. We had said that, and it was bad for business. I don't know if that's actually true, but they thought he was bad for business. They wanted things to go back to normal. We just want to have our normal life here. We don't want this Jesus part in our normal life. Maybe they didn't understand who Jesus was. I'm sure that if they had known that he was the Messiah, the Son of God, they would have had a different attitude. Maybe they didn't want to know who he is. Many people are like that. They don't want to learn about Jesus. They're afraid of Jesus. They're afraid he might change. They just don't want to know. Don't confuse me with the truth. 5:18, and as he was getting into the boat, The man who had been demon-possessed was imploring him that he might accompany him. So this man knew Jesus was special. He knew he was God's son. And they knew he was special, and he wanted to follow Jesus. But Jesus, on his part, and he, Jesus, did not let him. But he said to him, "Go home to your people and report to them the great things the Lord has done for you, and how he has had mercy on you." Jesus told the man to tell everybody, personal testimony, go tell what good things the Lord has done for you. Go tell people. Probably telling you the same thing. Go give your personal testimony to people. And he, the man, went away and began to proclaim it in Decapolis, what great things Jesus had done for him, and everybody was amazed. Everybody was amazed. Now, Decapolis were 10 Greek cities that were there when the Greeks ruled, and the Romans kind of left them alone. And these were Greek cities. There were a few Jewish people there, but they were Gentiles living in the city. Maybe the demon-possessed man was a Gentile. Maybe Jesus cast the demon, but Jesus mostly came to just to Jews, but of course Christianity became open to everybody, including the Gentiles, after Jesus rose from the dead. But these were clearly Gentiles that this man was talking to and telling them about what happened. So this man became the first missionary to the Gentiles. You say, "Oh, I thought Paul was a missionary to the Gentiles." Well, Paul was a missionary to the Gentiles. That was his mission. But even before him, Peter was a missionary told Gentiles about Jesus. And even before Peter, even before Jesus rose from the dead, this demon-possessed man that Jesus cured went and told Gentiles about Jesus. Maybe he softened up the territory for Paul. Who knows? I don't know. Right, here's my summary. Jesus cast out many demons out of a man. And the demons gave the man supernatural strength and made him miserable. And everyone was afraid of that man except for Jesus. But it was the demons who were afraid of Jesus. In our account today, Jesus demonstrated his authority over the demons. They had to do what Jesus said. The locals wanted Jesus to leave. They said, don't stay around. We don't want any part of you. And the man became the first missionary to the Gentiles. So here's an interesting question. Here's an interesting question for you to think about. You can think about that. If you could pick one thing, you'd be free of one thing, what would it be? Maybe you'd say, I want to be free from the stress of a relationship, maybe with an aide or family member, I don't know. Or I'd like to be stressed about the worry about the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a little sick here, and that's why I'm in this nursing home, or that's why I'm home all alone, and a little bit worried about the future. Or maybe it's your illness. If you're watching this, you probably have some illnesses. Or maybe it's physical pain. Oh, if I could be free of the pain. Or maybe you have some spiritual doubts. I don't know. You have some spiritual. If I could just be free of the spiritual doubts. Or maybe it's anger. I could just be free of my anger. Or whatever it is you want to be free of. Take your requests to Jesus. Now, Jesus may not take away your illness, but he'll help you get through it with grace. He may not take away your pain, but he'll help you get through with it. He'll help you get through it. He'll help you get through it. And he can, if you take it to Jesus, cure your anger, cure your spiritual doubts, resolve relationships. Take your problems to Jesus. Well, are you praying your 3 prayers? I hope you are, every day at least once. It ain't take any time. 15 to 20, 30 seconds, that's all, every day. I want you to pray for salvation for everyone in your residence. And if you're home, everyone in your family. And pray that anyway. You also be praying for your family. Pray every day for salvation for every resident and staff, that they would hear about Jesus, believe, and go to heaven. Secondly, pray for the end of racism in the United States. Pray for an end of racism in the church and end of racism across the country. It's an evil, evil thing. Pray for protection from the virus. It's still out there. Don't forget to pray for protection from the virus. And now, there's only one thing left to say. Say it with me. Aloha. See you there. God bless you all. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.